Ja, ihr Lieben, herzlich willkommen in der Kriegerschmiede, im Podcast der Kriegerschmiede. Ich habe heute wieder die große Freude, mit Sharon Healey zu sprechen. Heute zu einem ganz anderen Thema und zwar Avalon. Es geht um Avalon, das ein Teil unserer europäischen, also erstmal der Name lässt vermuten, unsere europäische Mystik, unsere europäische Sagenwelt. Worum es wirklich geht und welche Arbeit sie damit macht, wird sie uns gleich verraten. Hi Sharon, nice to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Fabian. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's a real pleasure talking to you. I just introduced the Avalon work, or just introduced the word, but of course we want to know what is Avalon to you and how you got there. What is this? What are you working with?
Well, Avalon Energies, it's all about truth and peace. It's a blue energy. All through my life, people would say to me, "Oh, you've got blue around you." And when something you're working with energetically, and when it's part of you, you don't feel it. So it's hard to explain. How did I get there? I was always, this human life. This time, I carried that energy back down into this human body again. I've always been connected with the energy because it comes from the heavens and the cosmos. So we're actually, when you think of it as energy, because out in the multiverse, everything's energy. And it's one of the energies that resonates with my soul essence and my vibration. And it's been carried back down to the planet. So how did I wake up again? Basically what it is because I was always connected as a child. And I would be talking to everyone from the other side of the veil, and my parents were not, you're talking, I was born in the 60s, so you're talking parents then. They didn't understand what parents nowadays do, that we're supporting children when they say they're talking to a spirit or an ancestor or an angel or whoever. We actually then don't tell them they're silly. So I was pulled around the house being told, and there's no one in the house, and even though I could describe them. So I learned to shut down that part of my gifts. So I shut down when I was 9, and what I done was then I threw all that energy into sport. So I was always very good at sport, running, hockey, you name it, I would excel at. To actually take that energy and frustration into another level. And you hear nowadays people, they would drink to suppress the communication. But as a child, you can't do that. So, I threw all that energy in. I would create so much energy as a teenager that the vibration, I would levitate my bed off the ground because I had nowhere to put the energy. So I better let you translate.
Yeah. That's good. You get so many points in it. Genau, ich erzähle euch kurz mal zusammengefasst, was Sharon gesagt hat. Sagte also die Avalon-Energie, also Avalon ist eine Energie, mit der sie arbeitet, mit der sie stark verbunden ist, schon immer. Sie bezeichnet das als blau, das ist sozusagen Teil von ihrer Essenz, von ihrer Energie. Und sie hat das schon seit Geburt und hatte diese Fähigkeit, mit den Verstorbenen zu reden, mit den Spirits, mit den Ahnen, alle, die da waren. Und ihr wurde natürlich dann sozusagen in der Kindheit gesagt, das stimmt nicht, das ist ja Quatsch, du bist blöd, also silly, du spinnst doch. Und das hat sie natürlich frustriert. Dann hat sie beschlossen, ich schließe diese Fähigkeiten, diese Gaben. Und dann hat sie diese ganze Energie, die eigentlich da war, in den Sport gesteckt zum Beispiel. Hat ganz viel, ist gerannt und so weiter und hat dann irgendwann auch mal angefangen, weil so viel Energie da war, dass ihr Bett anfing zu schweben. Da sind wir gerade aufgehört. Okay.
Right. So, when we are suppressed energetically, we can actually create things. And when you're a teenager, this is why, for me, I like to always talk with the teenagers because they're the ones that we can keep them or we could lose them energetically, and it's a hard time for them. So that's one of my passions as well. But for Avalon, it's an energy of purity. It's been here since the beginning of Earth's existence. It was one of the energies that came down to create. We are water carriers. We are the cosmic water. We have a prophecy that when the lady bearing water returns to the night sky, the ancient energies of Avalon will return. And we know we went into Aquarius, which is the water carrier. And we know when we went into Aquarius, 3 months later, we got COVID. And COVID was to help us to stop and look and see what we are doing. And so everything from up there is not negative. It's all positive. It's here to help us. And we've got to let the energies support us and help us grow. Instead of thinking we're in charge, we've got to listen on a different conscious level.
Ja.
I'll let you translate.
Ja. Sharon hat gerade gesagt, also es geht bei der Avalon-Energie ganz stark in der Essenz um Purity, also um Reinheit, auch um wieder eine Natürlichkeit, uns daran zu erinnern, wer wir wirklich sind, nach all dem Ganzen. Und diese Energie gibt es schon immer, diese Avalon-Energie gibt es schon immer, seitdem wir da sind. Und es geht ganz stark um das Element Wasser. Also sie hat von dem Aquarius, von dem Wassermann gesprochen, das Wassermann-Zeitalter. Und der spannende Zusammenhang war eben auch, kurz nachdem sozusagen wir wieder in den Wassermann gegangen sind, kam auch Covid. Das war jetzt ein kleines Beispiel von ihr, wo klar wurde, dass die Energien uns von oben auch eben eine Nachricht oder eine Aufforderung schicken. Dieses Stop und dieses Phänomen hatten wir ja in den Jahren von Covid und ganz zu Anfang ganz stark, wo viele Dinge, die sonst in Bewegung bei uns sind, aufgehört haben und plötzlich die Natur sich wieder Raum geschaffen hat, wenn wir uns noch daran erinnern. Das war ja ein schönes Phänomen, wo sich ganz viele Leute gefreut haben, wo plötzlich die Natur wieder kam und wir plötzlich zum Anhalten gezwungen waren. Und darum geht's auch bei Avalon hinzuschauen, ja, und uns mit unserer eigenen Reinheit, mit unserer eigenen Purheit wieder auseinanderzusetzen, daran wieder zu erinnern, an diesen Ursprung. Ja.
You know, when we first are born on the planet, we're all pure, and we lose that as we grow. And Avalon energies are coming back to help us keep our purity and start helping us reconnect back to our pure energy that we are. You know, we are meant to be co-creators with the cosmos and Mother Earth. We're not meant to be through ego or the negative aspect of controlling. We're meant to work all in harmony together and in peace. There's been a lot of work being done, and you know, there's multiple stories that we can share, like the peace ceremony, how Avalon's connected with that, why the stone circles are there. The stories and the ancient wisdom that I know it goes so far back. So it depends on the timeline that a soul has come to the planet is what will resonate with the soul.
Ja. Sie hat gerade nochmal erzählt, also es geht eigentlich darum, wir kommen ja von Geburt an hier pur und rein auf diese Welt und dann passieren natürlich Dinge, die uns von dieser Purheit und Reinheit trennen und darum geht's wieder daran, sich zu erinnern, eben mit Hilfe dieser Avalon-Energie, mit der Arbeit damit, mit den Zeremonien. Und das ist eben das ist das Wichtige, dass wir wieder verstehen müssen, weil das eigentlich ein Teil oder der wichtige Teil unseres Ursprungs ist, dass wir Co-Kreation betreiben, also miteinander diese Welt kreieren und nicht gegeneinander und nicht nur in einem Konkurrenz- oder Machtkampf, sondern das ist ein Miteinander, eben ein Miteinander mit dem Kosmos, mit dem Weltall, mit der Erde, auf der wir hier leben und das wieder mit reinzunehmen, statt eben nur die Kontrolle, nur das Ego. Ja.
As a child, as I said, I shut down. And then I had a time where I would open back up in my early 20s because then I was not under, no disrespect, but not under my parents' house anymore. I was independent.
Yeah.
And that was also an agreement with Toro and I that we would, when we come back together, we would help each other with the next level. The same with him. When he left home, he just drank to suppress everything and then we got together. It was like all that just ended, and we both fully had to embrace who we are on the planet. So for me, it was when Toro and I got together, because he said to me about, oh, you carry Avalon. And I actually said, well, what is Avalon? Because I just see it's just me. I don't give words to me. I'm just me. And so that's, yeah. You want to, and then I'll continue.
Yeah, but just one more question. What is the essence of the importance of doing this now?
Doing it now is because we come back many, many times into the planet. And sometimes, I've heard everyone talk about this witch era, and I know a lot of I pretty well know all my past lives and being thrown to, the lions in Rome and being burnt and everything. But we have to stop seeing them as witches. We see them as medicine women or medicine men. And then we change the energy and we change it into a positive way. And we all knew we would go into dark times, and we knew we would come down, we would keep anchoring the energies and until now. Why is it important now? Is because Mother Earth wants to move up the vibration, and she's in her time of raising into a different star on the that she wants to be. So it's important now because we push the energies away, and because it's a high frequency and it's in a different realm or dimension, the energies, until humanity could raise, then we can connect back down. So, as humans, we're the halfway point. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's important now because of the changes. 800 years ago was the last time it was tried. And the peace ceremony was not finished with the Aboriginals, and it finally got done. The peace ceremony was the only ceremony when Earth was created that was never completed. So we have been trying for a long time, and this is the energies of peace. And this is why now, as more people are raising up into truth and peace and purity, the more we see the opposite come forward, which has to happen. For us to see it, it's got to the lower vibration has to rise so we can see it, so we can keep moving. So there is a big shift going on. It's like living two Earths at the same time. And that's what we're doing. And but eventually we want to move the planet up. So Avalon is important because it's here to help the transition for humanity and for the planet, and even for the multi-universe, because as Mother Earth raises, then more can be created behind her.
Yeah, I will translate. Es geht um diesen großen Shift, es geht um diese große Veränderung. Also bin mir sicher, wenn du hier gerade als Zuhörer bist, dann wirst du was darüber wissen, dann wirst du was darüber gemerkt haben, dann wirst du das spüren, dieser große Shift der letzten Jahre, auch der letzten Jahrzehnte schon, diesen großen Shift energetisch mitzumachen, und darin unterstützt diese Avalon-Energie. Sharon hat gerade so 3 schöne Worte gesagt, die Purity, also die Reinheit und die eigene Wahrheit, Truth und Peace, also der Frieden, dass das so drei wichtige Elemente dieser Avalon-Energie sind, die uns als Menschen, aber eben weil die Erde das Gleiche macht, die Erde als Organismus, und wir sind ein Teil dessen, weil die Erde das Gleiche macht, genau versucht auch dieses energetische Aufsteigen, dieses energetische sich höher schwingen gerade, weil wir in diesem Prozess sind und dabei gerade sind wir Menschen auch aufgefordert, das zu tun, weil wir es können und weil jetzt, das ist das, wonach ich fragte, weil wir gerade jetzt diese richtige Zeit dafür haben, weil die Erde uns dabei unterstützt, dass wir uns wieder an unsere Ursprünglichkeit erinnern, an unsere eigene Reinheit, an das eigene, was bin ich eigentlich? Und vorhin hat sie auch noch gesagt, als sie Todor traf und mit ihm zusammenkam, da gab es auch genau diese Idee von Co-Creation. Sie haben sich beide erkannt, sie haben sich beide gesehen in dieser Idee von, wir unterstützen uns unsere Energien, also lift the energies also in unserem Sein zu unterstützen. Und Sharon war so, als Todor sie darauf ansprach, naja, du hast ja diese Avalon-Energien in dir und arbeitest mit, ja, das bin ich halt eben einfach. Also das ist natürlich auch wieder schön, sich gegenseitig daran zu erinnern, damit man das erkennt. Aber ich bin das einfach, das bin ich, genau. Und das ist diese Essenz, das ist der Kern dieser Arbeit, dass wir uns wirklich unterstützen und eben nicht auf ein Gegeneinander gehen. Ja. Ja.
So over time, we've had places. See, everybody calls it Avalon energies, but for me, that's just the name we call it in human form, because out in anything in energy form, we don't use names. There's no words. It's vibration and sound and so forth. So that's what it's called down here. Other cultures have called it different names. The Scottish called it Turnagog. Others called us all different, whatever. But they never, they always named us by description. And like Turnagog, the descriptions of the Scottish and others were those that never died, or those that never aged, or those that you could see through, or those that always youthful looking. So they always described us. They never actually called us Avalon. But many cultures around. India also have us written into their old scriptures, and they're in the ancient temples. Todor grew up with his nanny talking about, she more talked about the priestesses, which was a part of the Avalon history on the planet. We also have other history. It's not just that, because we are nature-based. So everything we do has to do with nature and the elements. We don't work on directions. We work on elements only, because for us, the wind can blow any direction. The water can flow any direction.
Yes.
And this is what we work on, more so than directions, which is more it's not. When we give a direction, it's human-made, and we're controlling it. But when we're connecting with the elements, so when we create magic, this is the alchemist side, is you have to be one with the elements and one with nature, because pure alchemist comes from the purity of connecting with your whole environment. And more people now are wanting to do that. They're wanting to connect, but they're only connecting with one element. Whereas we believe with our energy, and if we match the frequency and connect with the energy of elements or nature, then we can, then we work in harmony again. So Avalon's back to help not just humans, but Avalon's back to also help nature and the elements. It's here to help the transition. We have animal species leaving, new animal species coming back, or new ones coming that never existed. So there's a big realignment in nature. There is a big story on, which it's too long to share now, maybe another time we can work out. And there is a story on nature knowing humans were going to come, and how humans were formed, and actually all the way up to this time now, where we are now, and what we will do. And it's only when we turn around and reconnect back into nature that we can actually save humans, because the planet can always say bye-bye humans, go back up, come back down. And, I've worked with clients that one has gone back, and she remembers her first essence, we say essence incarnation, was being a pebble. And she remembers the river flowing over her. That was her first energetic connection to being on this planet. So I've had others that remember being animals. So you have to feel the energy. It's not a place, it's an energy. And you have to feel the energy and how it can support you on reconnecting back to the land, back to nature, back to yourself, back to your own soul essence. That's what it's here for, is to help people reconnect with just peace, truth, and love.
Yeah, that sounds great. I can remember when you did a piece of your work at the Haka workshop. It was a great, let's call it meditation or calling of the energy. Yeah, and I remember I was I told you that I was talking to myself in English because of being connected to you, and I had this sentence as that's what you got to do now. So I was really surprised because I was using words I never actually used. So that is really coming to me, because of being, maybe in some kind of state, as you told now, being connected to the elements. And not being just connected to my mind, which tells me, you need to do that, or you have to do that, or you have to be like that, or
but of course, we're living in a human body, so we also have to look at the mundane things that we also need to do. That's what I say. We have two brains. We have the physical brain and the heart brain, and then of course we have our brain our heart that connects us through our cord to Mother Earth. And this is another thing that we've forgotten. The ceremonies we would do when a baby was born to make them clear and connect them to Mother Earth so that they would connect with the elements. A lot of darker Indigenous remember this, but we've forgotten. But it's something that I did with my children because I remember all these ancient ways. And the thing is that when you connect with the energy is there to support you. So what you got was something that you weren't thinking of. So when you actually took it from the physical brain, the physical brain is there to remind us to put clothes on, to not walk down in front of clothes. But when you
go to pee and
all the things that a human being needs to function on the planet. But when you connect with your heart brain, and let everything else go, and let the soul of the heart take over and to be the best version of yourself on the planet. This is Avalon. We want people to be the best version of themselves in their own power, in the correct way.
I will translate. Wir waren gerade noch mal, so haben wir diesen schönen Bogen gerade gehört. Bei Avalon geht es darum, die beste Version deines Lebens zu erinnern. Ja? Also, und das ist vielleicht auch der Unterschied zu vielen anderen Coachings oder was auch immer, Möglichkeiten an Persönlichkeitsentwicklung, die es gerade gibt. Bei Avalon geht es nicht darum, dass du dir das alles aus dem Kopf holst oder gewisse Trainingsschritte absolvierst oder dann das machst und dann das machst. Vorhin hat Sharon das so mit den Richtungen beschrieben. Nee, wir gehen nicht in bestimmte Richtungen, weil nur in den Richtungen das zu bekommen ist, sondern wir gehen mit den Elementen, weil das Wissen ist in den Elementen. Also das in dem Avalon steckt ganz viel drinne, sich wieder daran zu erinnern, weil das alles schon da ist. Wir haben das alles in uns. Wir haben es nur verlernt. Das ist sozusagen auch ein Teil dessen, was wir wieder begreifen müssen. Wir haben ganz viel erlernt und darum auch von den Indigenen können wir da ganz viel lernen. Eben hat sie eine kurze Geschichte erzählt über eine Klientin, die sich an eine Essenz, sie sagt Essenz dazu, oder wir können auch Inkarnation sagen, an eine Inkarnation erinnert hat, wo sie als kleines Tierbaby hier auf der Welt war und wie sich das angefühlt hat. Also wieder direkt die Kommunikation mit den Energien, das zu lernen. Wie kann ich mit den Energien wirklich kommunizieren und in denen sein, anstatt nur im Kopf? Und gerade hatte ich so das Beispiel gebracht, weil ich habe mal eine Meditation erlebt mit Sharon, wo ich plötzlich Informationen auf Englisch bekam, was ich sonst nicht mache. Ich habe vielleicht, glaube ich, 1-2 Mal in meinem Leben auf Englisch auch geträumt. Aber ansonsten ist das eher selten. Und auch in Worten Informationen bekam, einen ganz speziellen Satz, die Worte, die ich sonst nicht benutze. Also eher, das ist vielleicht auch eher so ein bisschen Englisch, was außer der Reihe ist, ja. Also das benutzt man auch nicht so häufig. Und dann haben wir uns auch unterhalten und eben hat sie auch nochmal gesagt, ja, das ist sozusagen, das kommt aus dem Bereich, nicht aus deinem physischen Kopf, aus deinem physischen Gehirn, sondern aus dem Herzgehirn, aus diesem, der Teil deines Herzens, der mit dieser Seele, mit deiner Essenz auch verbunden ist. Und das ist ganz viel Teil dieser Arbeit von Avalon, dort uns wieder hinzuführen, uns wieder dran zu erinnern. Das macht's eben auch so schön, anstatt nur irgendwelchen ausgedachten Schritten zu folgen. Ja.
It's it was interesting doing that meditation that night with the group, because I know some didn't speak English at all; they were just German, and but because it's energy, they didn't need to hear me when I connect the energy for them. But I also really, really like to see men there. And when men are there, it's they really then understand it's not about separation. It's about unity. And one of the men came up to me and hugged me and said, I feel so liberated because I feel free and understood. The only thing I can do is have people, I say, you don't have to believe me, but feel it. And all I can do is help you feel the energy and decide. And if you decide, no, that's not how you want to go, that's fine. But if you want to, okay, yeah, I understand how this can help me now, and that's fine. So our job is to take everything from the lower frequency to the higher frequency. So from the negative to a positive, whatever, however people want to word it. And that's the job of Avalon and the energies. And it wants to connect down more. The more people it's connecting with, and can support, because it will not control you. It just wants to support you. The more it can support, the more we can shift into a better way of living on the planet.
Ja. Das ist nochmal sehr spannend, auch als Frage an alle die vielleicht sagen, ja, ich bin jetzt, also ich kann zwar Englisch oder ich kann es nicht so gut, aber ich weiß nicht, ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob ich es verstehe. Ihr könnt wirklich sicher sein, auch wenn ihr nicht alle Worte versteht, werde ich dabei sein, das mit übersetzen. Und das Zweite ist aber noch das Wichtige. Avalon arbeitet mit der Schwingung, arbeitet auch mit der Vibration der Stimme. Und die ist genauso da, weil Sharon wird das ja auf Englisch anleiten, die ist genauso da, die Wirkung, als wenn du das mit deinem Kopf verstehen würdest. Also das ist ja das Spannende, hat sie gerade gesagt, nach dieser einen Meditation, das weiß ich noch, kam auch ein Mann zu ihr, hat sie umarmt und hat gesagt, ich habe das zwar nicht alles verstanden, was du gesagt hast, aber ich fühle mich total frei gerade, ich fühle mich total befreit. Und das kann eben dann passieren, weil Schwingung wirkt trotzdem, egal welches Wort das ist, wenn es genau die Schwingung ist, die du gerade brauchst oder sozusagen die zu dir kommt durch Avalon, dann trifft die dich, ob du das Wort verstehst oder nicht. Das ist das Spannende. Ja.
Yeah, it helps people to understand their identity. We have the same stories because I have a lot of involvement with other tribal elders and wisdom keepers around the world through the work Toro and I do. And when I start sharing our ancient stories, they are very surprised that we actually have the same stories because we all came through the same. And that surprises them, that because they don't see that the white have any culture or have anything. And again, there's a tribal system within Europe, the whole continent. And when I'm talking the whole continent, I'm talking from England all the way through to Spain, Portugal, across to Italy, everywhere. But before Russia. And that was one big continent. And it was multiple tribes there. And we've forgotten that we were all one land, one people, and harmony. And this is, the stones, that, as I said, there's multiple topics, but this is the thing, is my job is, I know your message that you received in that meditation. And it was my grandfather who said, help my people. And now, of course, I'm going further and further in. We know I'm from Croatia, as you know. And, I understand what he meant. He didn't mean help just my people. He meant help all the people,
Yes, exactly.
to know their own truth and their own identity and step into their power.
Yeah.
And this is something that's quite passionate to me. Is also I want to work on getting the tribal system back so that we can start working in harmony together, which is another project. So lots of projects, lots of people say to me, "Oh my goodness, you've got so much work to do." And I said, "Oh yeah, that's okay. I don't just have the work to do. Everyone has the work to do. And the more I'm supporting the next person to come in their power, then they support someone else to come in their power. And that's how I see it. So it's not me. I always say to them, no, it's not me. We all have a lot of work to do. Yeah. And so this is also something that's important, is that we all stand in our power. And as I've said to you before, and I'm not sure if I said it in the last video, is that I see the planet as a 3D puzzle. And we're all of us are an individual piece of that puzzle. And when we become fully in our power and connected with our gifts and who we are, and we're content in that, and we're taking off the impurities, we slot into that piece of puzzle.
Exactly.
And then we create a new 3D world. So, well, not a 3D, but you know what I mean, the puzzle. Because we're definitely not in a 3D vibration now. But what it is that when we do that and we honor ourselves for us, not to be someone else, a puzzle cannot be created if two pieces are the same. So we honor an individual, and when you have to honor yourself too. I have many people that have altars, and they'll put up a goddess or something. I don't have an altar because we travel too much, but an altar. And they actually put up a picture of this goddess and God, or this the higher beings or whatever, divas or whatever you want to call them. And the first thing I say to people, the first thing that should be on your altar is a picture of your human body. Because you must respect yourself for being in that body. So you honor that body and respecting your body and respecting that you are here for a job. And then you start respecting yourself. But while we're worshipping others, other people, other goddesses or whatever, or gods or whatever, we're giving our power away. And that was the 101 of Avalon. It's not ego, it's just honoring yourself. I honor others, but I don't have to give you my power. I can respect you and I can support you, but I don't have to give you my power. And this is what I want people to do, is because energetically we give our power away. We can be open, we can give love, we can give support, but we don't have to think we're beneath anyone else, because we're all energy out there, we're all equal. So it's hard for a human to understand without thinking, oh, it's ego. But it's not ego. It's just being, know who you are, and then you're content in yourself. And it doesn't matter then about anything else.
But understanding this is very important, because it what you're talking about dissolves the misunderstanding of this ego concept. So it's not about putting yourselves higher than others. It's just putting yourself in a good first place to be helpful for others. For yourself and for others, of course.
You can't help someone if, I see this a lot. So, imagine if you had, and this is no disrespect to anyone that has it, but if you didn't have two arms, but then you wanted to go help someone change a tire, how do you do that? We've got to find, you've got to find the balance, and this is what it is. And unfortunately, we've been suppressed in thinking that we need to be lower than everyone else, or we have to give our power away. And it did come in a long time ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, that the Suppression Act was put on the white Indigenous. And that was before the white Indigenous then went out and put that Suppression Act on the darker Indigenous.
Yeah.
And, we've got to realize, okay, that's past. And if we I connect with everyone when I'm in these circles. I don't connect with them as seeing them through their color. I connect with them as seeing them through the energy that we're working with together to create. So we've got to stop thinking, and I know, especially with Germans and my story with my grandfather fighting in the war in Germany. For me, it's like wanting to suppress, not actually wanting to liberate you and hold you up, because there's so much power that can come out of this continent that a lot are scared of. That what I'm talking about, like the lower vibrations, not
of course.
Yeah.
Let me just wrap it up and translate.
Yep, I think so.
Ja. Sharon hat gerade ein schönes Bild noch entworfen, das Bild von einem Puzzle und mit zwei Dingen versehen, die wir sozusagen auch verstehen durch diese Arbeit mit Avalon. Einmal ist sozusagen die ganze Menschheit auf dieser Erde wie dieses Puzzle und wir arbeiten alle zusammen. Also wir gehören alle zusammen. Wenn sich ein Bild ergeben soll, ein großes, gutes Bild, dann sind wir alle Teil dieses Puzzles. Und es ist wichtig, dass wir eben genau in dieser Qualität dieses einzelnen Puzzlestücks aufgehen und das in uns verwirklichen. Ja, also jetzt mal in diesem Bild gedacht. Das ist diese Einheit, dieses Zusammengehören, diese Verbundenheit. Und andererseits, und da haben wir uns gerade so in den letzten Minuten in der Unterhaltung hinbewegt, andererseits gibt es aber natürlich auch das Wissen darum, dass wir alle jeder und jede von uns total einzigartig ist. Das heißt, kein Puzzlestück ist wie das andere. Wir müssen sozusagen auch so verschieden sein, dass wir gut zusammengehören, sonst ergibt sich auch irgendwann keine Stabilität mehr und keine Verbindungsflächen. Ja? Und das hat sie gerade gesagt. Sie hat ja über ihre Verbindung zu Torah viel auch in den letzten Jahren Verbindung gehabt zu anderen Wisdom Keepers, also zu anderen Weisheitsschützern, zu anderen Weisheitsträgern, zu anderen Indigenen. Und wenn sie dann immer die Geschichten sozusagen der Weißen erzählt hat, dann waren die Indigenen immer ganz überrascht, dass wir so ähnliche Mystik haben, dass wir so ähnliche Sagen haben, so ähnliche Traditionen, die sich genau in deren Geschichten auch wiederfinden. Das heißt, wir sind natürlich total verbunden und andererseits auch einzigartig. Und das will diese Avalon-Energie uns dabei zu unterstützen, dass wir A, diese Einzigartigkeit begreifen und B, aber eben nicht in eine Einzigartigkeit gehen, die sich über jemanden erhebt, sondern wir sind gleichwertig, wir sind auf Augenhöhe und das hat sie gesagt, das hat sie schon ein paar Mal beobachtet und auch von Leuten berichtet bekommen. Das ist ja, und da geht's mir ganz ähnlich, viele haben einen Altar und auf diesem Altar stehen immer Bilder von Götter und Göttinnen oder andere Dinge, ja, wo man sozusagen seine Energie hineingibt, mit denen man sich immer wieder verbindet. Und da sagt sie, das Erste, was eigentlich auf so einem Altar stehen sollte, ist ein Bild von sich selber in seiner körperlichen Erscheinung, von dir in deiner körperlichen Manifestation, damit du dich als das anerkennst. Und da haben wir ein bisschen auch nochmal dass Avalon dabei helfen kann, diese Ego-Falle auch zu umschiffen. Eben nicht zu sagen, ja, das bin ich und ich finde mich toll und ich erhebe mich über andere und ich bin ja besser, sondern sagen, nein, ich mache das, damit ich in meiner Kraft bin, in meiner Liebe bin und damit dann auch gleichzeitig anderen Menschen helfen kann, also auch sich daran zu erinnern. Ja, diesen Support zu geben und zu liefern. Das sind diese beiden Welten, da haben wir vorhin auch mal von gesprochen, diese beiden Welten, die sich treffen. Die ganz physische, in der ich meine Sachen erledigen muss, in der ich sozusagen, also wie heute, muss ich Sharon diesen Link schicken, damit sie überhaupt hierher kommt, in dieses Programm hier teilnehmen kann. Andererseits geht es aber auch darum, dass ich weiß, worüber reden wir eigentlich? Mit was vernetze ich mich da? Mit was verbinde ich mich da? Wenn wir euch das hier übermitteln möchten und speziell natürlich Sharon, wenn wir das euch übermitteln möchten, worum es in dieser Arbeit geht. Das ist immer wieder dieses Treffen von diesen beiden Welten. Ja.
Look, Fabian, you and I could talk for hours and hours.
Yeah, that's it.
So maybe we'll just a little.
Yeah, we do some more of that.
Just on little topics, but I think
it was a good point to let it stand like this, because that's what it's all about. The being connected and being unique at the same time.
At the same time, that's what I was always taught. Is that, and I would ask Archangel Michael, I'd say, oh, could you do this clearing? And he actually got to the stage, he said to me, nope, you know how to do it, you do it yourself. And so him and I always say he's my brother, and we always end up with arguments because I tell him, I always say, you've never had a human life, and he said, and I don't intend to. So you can have fun with them up there. They want to support us. They don't want to control us. And this is what we forgot is we support them too. Sometimes we're going off to help them in their energy to do things for the multiverse, and then other times they'll come down and learn us energy to move forward. But and it's all about as you say, oneness and the uniqueness and the unity all at the same time. I was told that, everybody misunderstood oneness. They thought we had to be oneness with the whole. But what they were asking was to be one with ourselves. Yeah. When we're one with ourselves, then we can be one with everything else. Yeah. So,
That's
but we'll leave it because, as I said, we can talk for ages. Yeah, we have questions. Maybe we can just do little snippets every now and again. And
I think that's a good point. To ask the people if they have questions, they can write me or they can write you.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it up and we'll do some Q&A on that. So, but there's one thing to say. So you're going to do this Avalon seminar, the Avalon workshop at the end of September. 28th, 29th, and the 1st of October, is it?
Yeah. The last weekend.
The last weekend. I'm going to be there to support you, and you're going to do the work. And of course, everyone is invited to get there.
I'm not going to do the work. I'm going to help you do your work. So
okay, fine. Yeah. That's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the important difference. Yeah. Genau, nochmal ganz kurz gesagt, also Sharon wird die Avalon-Arbeit machen an dem letzten Septemberwochenende. Ich stelle die ganzen Daten und Links nochmal konkret hier rein. Dann könnt ihr das euch anschauen und anklicken. Dieser Workshop findet in der Leutermühle statt. Und also ganz wunderbarer Raum, ganz wunderbare Umgebung, auch zum Thema Wasser. Wir haben da ganz wunderbar fließendes Wasser. Also da kann ganz viel passieren. Von dieser Magie, von der wir gerade gesprochen haben, sich an dich selber zu erinnern. Und sie hat ja gerade nochmal gesagt, sie unterstützt dich dabei, eigentlich dich selber zu heilen, dich an dich zu erinnern und deine eigene Arbeit genau eben mit der Energie von Avalon zu tun. So,
Thank
we
you.
leave it here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all this great knowledge, this great wisdom, and this points to remember.
Yeah, points to remember. But thank you for all your support too, Fabian. It's very much
you're welcome.
appreciated.
I really like to.
Yeah. And to everyone that listens, I wish them all the best on their journey here as a human being in our space.
Okay, wunderbar. Dann war's das für heute. Schön, dass du bis zum Ende hier geblieben bist, dir das angeschaut, angehört hast. Und wie gesagt, du kannst diese tolle Arbeit erleben und selber machen, selber lernen. In diesem Jahr, Ende September, da sehen wir uns dann. Alles Gute und eine schöne Zeit. Bis bald. Ciao.
Ciao.